All right, guys, what's going on? How's everyone doing today? We're going to be going live here with Nick from Breaking Bad Boxing. He'll be on in a second. Just want to do a couple little intros before we do that. Guys, if you haven't already, click the link that's pinned in the comments section below right here. Join our Johnny Says Boxing VIP Discord. It's only a couple bucks a month. We also launched a Patreon for all the boys who've been asking. Another way to support the channel. That's linked there. And when Nick comes on, we're gonna break down these Japanese fights. We're gonna break down the Australian fights for all the Aussies out here. I'll be at the fights tonight. If you guys are there, hit me up. We'll link up. And there's a lot of good matchups to talk about. There's so much to talk about. Right in front of me on the big screen, we're watching the MVP sort of. There's fights tonight at they're in Miami. So we do have action on this three-legger. I don't see any of the B sides winning. So I did a three-leg parlay for tonight for today's fights here. They're at the LIV nightclub here in Miami, Florida. The three favorites pay $1.50, 50% on the return. So I'm hoping to hit that and then turn that into a nice little sneaky parlay for Australia. After we finish this live, I'll be sharing my long parlay with you guys in the Discord. I'll be sharing you. I already gave you guys in the Discord my dog of the night. Guys, we could possibly see 3 underdogs winning tonight here in both Australia and Japan. So we're going to get into that. I'm just kind of waiting on Nick to see where he's at. And we'll get this thing going. I'll start saying my what's ups. We got new members signing up. Awesome. I want to give a special shout out to eBlazer. eBlazer joined our Discord. I appreciate you. Appreciate the support. eBlazer, since you're new, go to my YouTube interface. All the JSB insiders, the members, you have access to your own section on YouTube. You'll see it says members only. There you will find the link to access the Discord. So welcome. If you have any questions, message me and I'll help you out. I'm going to start saying my what's up. Melbourne, Gary asking about you. Tell Gary to message me. He has my number. He has my number. DGZ, DJ Green, what's good, brother? So, guys, we're only a couple minutes in. I see everybody settling in. Brush the shoulders off, brush the shoes off. Like the video. Make sure you subscribed, and we'll get this thing started. Nick's about to pull up right now. Fan favorite, Nick from Breaking Bad Boxing. If you guys haven't followed him, do that as well. We're going to be streaming simultaneously. So if you guys are catching this on Nick's channel, what's up? My name's Johnny. And if you're on my channel and you're not following Nick yet, go follow Nick at Breaking Bad Boxing. He does a really good job at what he does. And, it's good to see everybody tuning in. I got MVP's YouTube on the channel here. Let me go over real quick. I'll pull up some of the betting odds. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this is one of the fights. Let's get a little share screen action. Guys, there's so many fights. Is everyone else like? It's crazy the amount of fights we have this week. It's almost like Christmas, pre-Christmas for boxing fans. I'm like a nerd right now. We got YouTube fights. I'm going to the fights. We got Japan. We got the UK. We got Pro Box. We got another UK card. My prop of the week is actually on Sunday with the Troy Williamson fight. So this is just good to be a boxing fan, dude. Guys, we are a global community, right? It's going to be a global boxing fan, not just a one-sided niche. Like we only cheer for X fighters and we only cheer for fighters who fight under this promotion. Not on this channel. We tune into everything. So this is one of the fights. So this fight actually goes down in 30 minutes on YouTube. Medeiros versus Hugo Macias. And I don't see Macias winning this fight, but my book, your book should be showing 3 fights. So let me go to Bet365. Bet365 sometimes is a little bit more accurate on the timing of the fights that they show. It's just, for me personally, the interface, something about the interface. I like using Sportsbet's interface, but I told all the Aussies, like Mike from Melbourne, if you're betting on boxing on sports bet, you're gonna get burned because the draw will ruin your ticket. All right, so these are all the fights coming up. This is just so this fight's on in 10 minutes. This is Sydney, 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 Japan, Sydney, Japan, Sydney, Sydney, Japan, Sydney. Jesus, dude, we have so many. I'm like getting overwhelmed. I'm like getting anxious. Bro, there's too many fucking fights. What the hell? Guys, if you haven't seen my breakdown, prediction, and analysis of the Tszyu versus Anthony Velazquez fight, that's up on the channel. I also broke down the Nonito Donaire fight versus Tsutsumi. That's on the channel. And Nick and I, whenever he's walking in, he's about 5 minutes late. We're gonna talk about Alasquaga Princess is fighting on the Japanese card. There's a couple world title fights on the Japanese card. You guys have been messaging me all day about Aussie potential upsets. I'm going to relay information to you guys from what I've been hearing from my network about the Australian potential upsets. I am taking at least 2 dogs in Australia. If we play our cards right, boys, there's money. There's so much money on the table. We shouldn't get greedy. And, considering the betting odds, method of victory, I think, is wide open as well. If you're watching the YouTube, we got Badouan. She's a French-Canadian fighter. She's warming up, hitting the pads. She's fighting Alicia Bumgardner this Friday in Australia. Both ladies have one loss. And I got to be honest with you, the last fight with Alicia, she didn't really impress me that much. Coffee. I always get off screen when I drink, so I don't like drinking things in front of me. I got that old head coffee mug too, boy. All right, Johnny the Body Snatcher. Dude, Mike McCallum, one of my favorite nicknames. Great boxer, man. The Body Snatcher. You know I'm a body puncher guy. Big fan. Mike from Melbourne, what are your thoughts on Bumgardner versus Badouan? 3 minutes. Ali hasn't looked. I just said it. So Mike and I are usually pretty much aligned on our thought processes. I hadn't even read his comment, but I just spoke about it. I'm watching Badouan right now on YouTube, hitting the pads. And I agree. Alicia didn't look that good. Guys, I'm bringing Nick on right now. Nick, Breaking Bad Boxing. Give me 1 second. He's in the waiting room. Breaking Bad Boxing. Boom. All right. Nick is in the house. Give me 1 second, Nick. Let me tag you up real quick. Okay. Welcome to the motherfucking show. Nick.
What's good?
What's crack-a-lackin', baby? How you doing?
Good. How are you, sir?
Good, man. So we're 8 minutes in. I feel like I've already been live for an hour. I already covered a lot. The boys have been expecting you. Were you tuning? Did you just tune in, or did you hear any of that?
Oh no, I wasn't tuned in. My bad. I was walking my dog, getting in away his last little walk in because he was really bugging. He wouldn't have let me done this live without it. So,
well, anyways, your dog. Anyways, a nice namesake of Japan. And
DJ, I'm sorry for being late, Brody. I apologize. I'm sorry. My dog's a pain in the ass.
The boys have been waiting, Nick.
He's keeping me accountable. I appreciate that. That's what we need. We don't need yes men. We need people around you that are going to keep you accountable in your life. And that's a fact. You don't need people that are going to be like, hey, hell yeah, nah, I'm late. And that's a fact. My apologies. I should be more cordial than that.
This guy getting them. So what we're going to do is...
Lito, what's up, brother?
Yeah, so say you what's up. We got Lito in the house, DJ, J-Sai, what's up? Jake Bellinger. We got about 35 people in right now. We're only 10 minutes in. This thing's gonna grow. As you boys are tapping in, like the video. You're streaming on your channel too, right, Nick?
I believe so. Let me check. Actually, I should be. Let me check just to be sure.
Look at my man Skeezy. What's up, gang?
So.
Yeah, so I'm going to the fight, Skeezy, and we're gonna be in to answer.
Yep, looking good.
All right, good. To answer J-Sai, we're gonna be going over Australia. Do you want to start with Japan, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, I really, I'll let you do the Australia coverage because I didn't cover any tape on Australia. I mean, I can say that I like Tszyu, not to go the distance. I think that's always a safe bet with Tszyu's chin. You know, little bit of, you know, just Anthony Velazquez possible being a big hitter. Just, I guess that's a safe bet. But outside of that, I don't really have any real tape backing for Australia. But I've taped all 3 cards on Japan. So
Yeah, okay. I've done both. What I'll do is, because I know the boys have been asking. What I'll do is I'll cover briefly. I'll do 1 or 2 fights real quick, and then we could just flow back and forth. I will do. Yeah, I'm taking Tszyu. So there's one that you guys have been asking. Okay, I'm going to do a Kuso versus Abdulayev real quick. Now, guys, I've been getting asked, 4 days ago, you guys were messaging me about this fight. Now, Paulo Kuso, he is the favorite. He's the A side. This guy, on the domestic level, you should know about him. He's akin to, he's connected with like Justice Huni. He's connected with Jaya Pataya. The kid is a big athletic guy who could crack. Now, Abdulayev, why there's interest on this dog is that his amateur pedigree. You're not going to find all of his amateur fights on BoxRec. He doesn't have a lot of pro fights, and a lot of people are really excited about an amateur fight he had with Aman Katiev. Now, I'm going with Akuso. I don't think Akuso's on upset alert. I like Paulo here. All things considered, A side. It's a homecoming. The kid's very athletic. He could crack. If there is a hesitation, it would be, have we seen him have to kind of come from behind and be a B side, like be the nail? He's always kind of been the hammer. And to answer everybody messaging me, I'm not taking Abdulayev here. I think Akuso is legit and the real deal. There's nothing about Akuso's game that I've seen that makes me doubt that he's going to come in as a huge favorite and lose this fight with all things considered where he wants to go. So I just wanted to address that quickly.
If I may, really quickly, I see it's listed as a 6-round fight. And if people think that the dog is live in a 6-round fight, why would you not take the chance on a 17-1 dog on a draw? In this case, a plus 1600 in America. I don't see why you want to take a chance on a draw if you think the dog is live. In a 6-round fight, 3-3 is very amicable and possible. So,
have you seen a Kuso fight?
He had that one close fight on that Aussie card. That was
Clay Waterman.
Yeah, Clay Waterman. Yeah. Who was the headliner on that card too as well?
That Clay Waterman fight was on the that was in Penrith. Let me pull it up. They were the headliner. It's just that they were the headliner.
Yeah, that's so besides that, but I've never even seen Abdulayev fight, never seen his amateur pedigree. So again, no tape on this, but I just think in a 6-round fight, if people are really thinking that the dog has any live possibility, I think that's not a bad bet just to take a stab at purely based on value. 6 rounds, stronger possibility of a 3-3 fight down the middle than there are, when the fight goes longer and then people start to gas out and drag out. So that's just a thought on terms of value. So
it's not a fight. Yeah, it's not a fight I'm really like betting on, but people wanted me to talk about the fight. Ahmad Rita is one of my favorite. Ahmad Rita is one of my favorite prospects right now. He's a young prospect. I watched him live in his last fight. He fought a 30 pro veteran in Bruno Tarimo. Bruno, really tough professional vet guy, and Rita blew me away watching him live. How quick he is, his management of the pocket, his timing, his counters. I think Rita, obviously, he's a favorite for a reason. I just wanted to mention him just to bring him up. If you guys are true blue boxing heads like myself and Nick, that's a name for Australian sort of on the domestic scene. Put an asterisk by Ahmad Rita's name. Comes from a fighting family. Lives in the gym. What else? Fawcett's. Somebody asked about Fawcett on here or no? See, I've been getting people been fucking. We're in the weeds talking about Jason Fawcett. I do like Fawcett's fights though. Have you ever seen him fight, Nick?
No, I haven't, but I have a buddy that likes Marco Romero. He posted on free on Twitter, so I know he won't care that I tell him. My boy, Desperate Times Ryan, shout out that man, very sharp cat. He likes Marco Romero by decision here in this case. The people that are judging it and refereeing this fight are his trainers and training partners. So very Australian boxing of them, if you ask me.
Yeah, so I'm gonna play. Hopefully, when you start getting like real insider info, the boys will send you messages that disappear on Instagram. So I was like, so one of my guys who I'm not gonna put him on blast. He okay, he goes. All of his messages disappear because he's a fighter and he trains with a lot of these guys. I'm going to read what he wrote about Cohen Mazudir because I see the boys are asking about him. And all he said about Marco, I know he continues camp. He goes, but I think the one is tighter, more of a gamble because Fawcett is definitely unreliable. So my boy says he has Fawcett to beat Romeo. Already put his bets in. I think this one is a tight fight, more of a gamble because Fawcett is definitely unreliable. Besides that, I know he continued his camp since his last knockout victory against the Uzbek, meaning he is hungry and switched on. He's a dog in the ring. I've sparred with him many times. I think could be Marco could be shy in the pocket. Not sure. Have to talk to his coach. We'll see. So it's another one of these fights. Those odds are gonna get. Dude, you could get Fawcett as a dog, man. I like Fawcett as a dog there.
Well, I don't think I have that. I know I don't have that in America. That's why I didn't really tape any of these fights, to be honest with you, just because I had to focus on the ones that I had to give the Patreon boys some picks for. But
yeah,
if I may read what my boy Desperate Times, what my boy Ryan wrote, he said,
okay.
1 unit, Marco Romeo by decision. Close fight. I find Romeo a bit better, more marketable. Spent time training U.S. with Freddie Roach. And his head coach, Tom Lambert, is a judge and referee for boxing NSW. I don't know what NSW is.
New South Wales.
Thank you, sir. This fight is judged by his claw leagues. So, I mean, fair play on both sides, specifically since you have actual fighter inside information. This isn't my gambling advice. I'm simply regurgitating some information that I saw from my buddy on Instagram, and you're giving out real advice for the Aussie card. When we get to the Japan card, I can give out like real bread and butter tape studies. So
yes, and on that, you know, we'll be brief here because I want to get to Japan because there's some saucy odds, but I want to talk about real quick Akuso, Abdullayev, Cohen, and Molinaro. So Cohen and Molinaro, you know, you're in the Discord. I'm going to read what our moderator wrote about this Cohen Molinaro fight. I think it's pretty legit. He goes, I think Cohen's punches will likely be too sharp for Molinaro. It's definitely possible for Molinaro to outbox Cohen and win on points. The question is whether or not Molinaro could withstand Cohen's power. I'm leaning towards Cohen. Molinaro is nothing special. Molinaro likes to trade, and for his work to be effective, he needs to be in front of Cohen. For me, it's Cohen by knockout or TKO or Molinaro by points. Neither one is worth the risk. This fight is not worth betting since Cohen's volume is low and he has no defense. And to put an exclamation point on that, one of my guys, you know, a couple guys have spoken about it behind the scenes about Cohen. He takes a lot of shots. He likes to be in a dogfight. He's tough as nails. He wants to get hit. But all of that alleged damage from sparring and his career is already showing in his speech. And so you make whatever you want to of that. You know, some of the boys in the know aren't betting on that fight. So, and then I think Tszyu. So you said Tszyu and Velazquez to end by stoppage, but go on. You have to continue that.
I mean, my thought is just like, let's just say what it is. Tszyu's chin is shot. I've read some online creepings that, and this is again, this online creepings and online rebellings when you dig too deep into the crevices of the boxing world, is that Anthony Velazquez really hasn't even been training. The books have it under 5.5 rounds. So they have it in a 10-round fight. They favor this fight not to go the distance. So, I mean, you could just put simple wiki capping math together, and I think 2 and 2 equals 4. So that's really just kind of like, and of course, no tape on it. I don't really know how good Anthony Velazquez is. Quite frankly, I don't even know. I know he's like 18-0-1, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But that's literally it. That's literally just my thoughts on it. Quite frankly, I mean, even the books. I mean, if you look at it, the books have it at 5.5 rounds. So the books truly even favor at that point to not even get close to the distance.
Yeah, so Anthony Velazquez, you know, he's a tough Massachusetts kid, comes from Springfield. His coach is in our group. Shout out to Coach Bermudez. Coach Bermudez is all over. He's going viral right now in Sydney for, you know, he's said a couple really poignant things in the media about this fight. Now, when you look at Anthony's, and Coach Bermudez is a G, by the way. I want to pinpoint that, and before I say this next bit, when you see Anthony Velazquez's opponents, when you watch his fight style, he is a pressure forward puncher, similar to Tim. It's just that I feel that he's not on Tim's level. I think they're bringing in Anthony for a reason. He got a good record. It's going to look good when they tally the scores up and see that Tim has beaten another undefeated guy. It's a good projection, sort of prop up fight for Tim. I think Tim stops him. I think Tim's too sharp. I think he's too quick. The kid is, people forget, mate. July 2023, this kid's a world champion making t-shirt hit lists with Charlo's name, EJ's name, Bud Crawford's name, and then he loses 3 out of his last 4. And both Fundora fights were kind of, all of his fights. I want to see, you can make a case even for the Murtazaev fight. It's like the lack of adjustments there, the lack of game planning there. I think that the camp change should have been made there rather than after. And we'll see. Coach Bermuda says, how much change could you really make, or how much adhesion could you really make with a new coach? We know he's gone to Pedro Diaz with 1 fight camp. So I don't expect to see anything too different from Tim. I expect to see the same Tim that we saw against Joey. And I think he stops him in under 6. So that's my take on that.
I do agree with the idea is how much change, especially with Tszyu, can he count coming off of, I mean, yeah, man, I don't know. It just kind of makes me sad talking about Tim Tszyu, to be honest with you.
Why?
I feel like I feel like he was failed by his team. I feel like he was truly failed by his team. I mean, he could have failed himself by not changing his team, but man, the damage he took and sustained from Fundora when he should have been pulled out of that fight. Quite frankly, that fight should have been pulled out of that fight, and it wouldn't have been this downhill effect of damage that he's taking. The Murtazaev fight, he took a career-changing amount of damage, and then his last fight against Fundora, we all saw what happened, man. You don't think that's sad to see someone like Tim Tszyu go out like that on the stool like that?
Well, he's 31 years old.
That hurt. That literally hurt my heart. And I mean, like, with the utmost respect, like, if I'm not mistaken, he fought Joey Spencer, correct? Next, yeah, Joey Spencer.
He fought Joey. He fought Joey before the second set fight. Yeah.
Yes, and Joey Spencer is trash.
I mean, I'm not ever gonna call a fighter trash. Joey Spencer.
I know. That was rude of me. That was honestly.
Yeah, I mean, you can say what you want. But then again, I'm the one who said I don't think it's sad that Tim got beat up. But I kind of
how I feel about Gabriel Flores Jr. In terms of Joey Spencer, and everyone knows how I feel about
Gabe Flores. Dude, I gotta be honest with you though. Even though I won money on that fight, and people were picking Cordina to lose, what are we talking about? Gabe Flores actually fought way better than I thought he was gonna fight. If he just had a little bit of more crack in his hands, some guys just don't have pop.
Joe Cordina has pop.
I'm talking about Flores. I'm talking about Flores.
I'm sorry. Joe Flores. He has pop.
Gabriel.
He has 4 knockdowns in his last 2 fights. He knocked down Adiano in the 1st and the 10th round.
Gabe Flores cannot crack. What are you talking about?
I mean, I'm not. He has enough pop to knock people down, and he was hitting Joe Cordina clean.
Because he can't crack. Cordina knew that.
Gabe Flores, the issue with that fight was always going to be the fact that he accepted the back foot from Jump Street. And if you go and watch my breakdown, and you even see in the comments, him accepting the back foot was always going to be his biggest issue. He was way too apparent to get stuck on the back foot, get his back caught against the ropes. And against a savvy veteran like Joe Cordina, he's going to shift off on angles. He's going to rip apart your body. And quite frankly,
he big brothered him.
Gabe Flores is another person that is failed by his team. That has been failed by his team.
I see what you're getting at. Now I understand
the damage he took against Luis Alberto Lopez. He should have been stopped and pulled out of that fight. Got cracked up by Giovanni Cordina. They haven't put him on any proper trajectory against picking good fights. And then
you watch much 80s boxing though, mate? Did you So when I'm thinking about guys on their stool and taking damage, mate, this is boxing though, brother.
I actually just watched the HBO Legendary Night series not too long ago. I think I texted you about it. I was
you did.
Mars, salute, brother.
Yeah, the boys are in the house.
You're doing well, Chris. Hope everyone's doing well just in general. So
Chris is a savage. Yeah, dude, we got an educated ass chat here, man. The boys know what they're talking about. Hey, I got a little assist for you. I'll be John Stockton. You be the mailman. Tsukumi versus Santiago to keep us on track. We're in Japan now, boys. These are the odds. Tsukumi versus Santiago. You got the mic.
Yeah, so you kind of have a classic slugger in this case, because I consider Tsukumi a slugger, quite frankly. And then you have Santiago, who is a unorthodox boxer. And what do I mean by unorthodox boxer? He likes to sit on the back foot, pop shot on the back foot, hang out on the ropes, pretty good cardio and conditioning, even though he does lose his pace and slow in the later rounds. And he crowds. So anytime you get on the inside, you really saw with the Bomba fight, the Gonzalez fight, anytime Bomba Gonzalez got on the inside and started letting off body shots, he would crowd and clinch. He likes that clinch and minimize, really likes to utilize that clinch and minimize. I think Rene Santiago, quite frankly, could win this fight if he has the right game plan and if he has the cardio to go 12 rounds. I question the fact of if he has the right game plan and if he has the cardio to go 12 rounds with someone that's going to be consistently stabbing at the body, slapping the body with shovel hooks and heavy body shots and hooks in the punch variation variety. I don't think Takami is necessarily as good as everyone's propping him up to be. I think he has better movement than Iwata did to close off the ring against someone like Santiago. I think he hits a little bit harder than Iwata too. And we saw against Santiago and Iwata really had later round success in the 9th and the 10th and the 11th, catching Santiago, even though Santiago really won that fight pretty clearly. I got a nice little live decision bet on him at plus 4,000 that fight. So I was pretty happy about that. But all in all, man, I think Santiago with the right game plan could win this fight. But I lean Takami to get it done by a points decision and a slightly closer points decision, maybe 8-4, 7-5, because I eventually think he's just going to track him. I think the young athletic age eventually is going to be more spry. The body work, the eventual power, who I think he hits better than Iwata. I think he tracks a little bit better than Iwata. And Rene Santiago is just so used to running in and clinching when things get sticky on the inside. And I think Takami is better at jousting in, working the inside, and jousting out before he can get clinched. So I lean overall Takami to get a points decision. I think he could possibly even get a 10-12, 9-12 kind of stoppage. But again, with the right game plan, this is to me the livest dog of the whole card, of the whole Japan card. With the right game plan, Santiago could win this fight on points. He ain't knocking him out. He ain't knocking Takami out. That's just not happening. He doesn't have the gas tank in the later rounds. He doesn't have the pop to do it. And he's so used to sitting on the back foot for so long. But Santiago by points decision, if you're looking for a live dog and a live dog value play, Santiago by points at plus 600, really not a bad play. I'd shop that around because you can get it at a better number at other places too. So that's my thoughts on the fight in total.
Yeah, what I see here is I think people really it just depends on what do you like. You know, Takami's last fight against Eric Rosa, people were hyping Rosa up. We covered that fight on the channel. We were spot on that Takami was going to finish that fight like he did. I think Rene Santiago
was actually my second breakdown I've ever done on my channel.
Was it?
Was Takami
that's when you had the OG the OG fight playing in the background. I remember watching your breakdown. I was like, this fool's going to get flagged. You had El Finito playing in the background on
your Finito Lopez playing
Ricardo Lopez.
Yes, sir. Which is hilarious. I didn't even think about that, but that was like Rosa's downfall was always going to be his cardio in that fight. Rosa has a horrendous gas tank. That amateur pedigree did not do him well coming to the pros. And another thing too as well is Rosa really tagged Takami a lot more when I rewatched the highlights that I could piece together, because it's hard finding that full fight on the internet. But Rosa was really tagging up Takami. Oh, no, shout out my boy Lygos, actually. I'm having a mind block. He sent me the full fight, and I watched it on Unext. Shout out to the VPN, too, as well. So, Rosa, we watched so much tape, bro. My brain is
shout out
cluttered.
To the VPN. When VPNs are getting shouted out, boy.
Needed it to watch that, quite frankly. Yeah. So I really, that's like, again, I think Santiago's the livest dog on the card. I think.
So my take on that, though, is I like Santiago. I like that he uses the entire ring. I like his counterboxing. I think he's sharp. I think if he fights him at range and distance and doesn't play in the Takami front foot, rock'em sock'em game, I think Santiago's super live here. I think he's coming in. I think he's coming in to win this fight. This is both of these guys are champions, and I think Takami. I mean, I never rated that last win. It just depends on. I think the odds are really much a factor of people looking at Renee's record, 14-4, never been stopped, and Takami coming off of that knockout win against Eric Rosa. But yeah, this is my dog of the night in Japan. Is Santiago on points at plus 600? Let's go, dude. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, I really think. I mean, the safest play, in my opinion, is the fight to go the distance. I think that's overall the safest play. Renee is definitely a live dog. Good live bet spot too, as well. A really good live bet spot. But yeah, I mean, I think I covered all my bases that I wanted to on that fight. I wrote a full in-depth breakdown on that one.
Do you want to go? Do you want to go Tsutsumi next, or do you want to go to the Princess fight?
Let's do Princesa. I'm a huge Princesa fan, as most people know. That's actually one of my favorite fighters right now.
Yeah, he has pretty much the whole package, mate. I'm a big fan. So, yep, go on.
Oh no, my apologies. Did you want to go first on this one?
Oh no. All you. I'm just typing.
So I think Olasquaga is a perfect mix of like a boxer puncher prototype. He has power. He can do it all. Offensively, I think he can do it all. I think defensively, he has a few holes. Kiwahara, or I'm just going to call him Taku from this point. Taku, he likes to box on the back foot. He kind of has a nice little jousting in and out style, good sweeping left hooks, good rear hand too as well. When he lets his combinations go, when he does fight on the front foot, it's pretty good work too as well. One thing I love about him too is about Taku is he fights on the back foot, but the one thing about Taku, he doesn't keep his back to the ropes. It's almost like there's fire on the ropes and he's always moving off the ropes, always angling, always moving different directions, cutting and pendulum stepping, not pendulum stepping, but cutting different angles. And then you have Olasquaga, who I think will have problems, as we saw with Camacho and as we saw a little bit even with Koyaguchi, having problems with boxers that can box off the back foot, someone that can move off the back foot, float and flutter. And I think early rounds, I think Taku is going to give possibly Olasquaga some issues unless he gets caught cold, which in his last fight, he got dropped in the first round. He took a horrendous amount of damage against Akui in their first fight. Like he got dropped cold in the first round, bad in the third round when he was eventually finished in the seventh round. Way more defensively responsible in their second fight. But I don't think Akui has the feet or the athleticism that and the tracking that Princesa has. So ultimately, I see Olasquaga getting this fight done by knockout and getting this fight done by knockout late. If you're a parlay chaser, I think it's a good parlay piece for Olasquaga by knockout. Me personally, I don't mind playing a straight bet on Olasquaga around 7 through 12 too as well, because I think you get some juice on plus money. You always have to be worried on the fact that Taku is very hittable. He's hittable early, especially even for a back foot fighter. Because he likes to float, especially with his chin high and a low shoulder. So there's a lot of things that make me think that Olasquaga will get this done eventually. I think it does happen later, but I wouldn't be surprised if he cold cocks him later. So for the parlay chasers out there, I think it's a good parlay piece. I'm pretty confident Olasquaga gets a knockout in this fight here. I think Taku could give him some issues early, again, with that back foot counter pop shot style of boxing that we've seen give Olasquaga some issues before. Even Camacho in the first round and in the second round had a few moments of good pulling and countering before he got ran downhill. So
I just think that, Taku's going to have his hands full with the timing and the power. And that's why you're looking at that. I mean, I really don't like $1.49 for a knockout will make you sweat. You know what I mean? So if that's the case, that's why those odds are like that. Have you gotten any word on how big the ring is going to be? I've been asking around.
Well,
I want to know how big this ring is going to be, because that matters with these contrasted styles.
It's in Japan, so it doesn't. There's really no need to find a word. It's going to be a bigger ring. It's always a boat in Japan. It's always a boat in Japan. It's going to help these back foot fighters like Rene Santiago and like Taku in this case here, in my opinion. Again, early, and even DJ agrees that Taku's going to give Ola a lot of problems in the early rounds, but I think it eventually goes downhill. And if you don't want to sweat the early rounds, or you're worried that Olasquaga cold cocks him early, you just live bet it. As simple as that. You live bet it.
The problem with live betting, though, is that you're then relying upon talking to a human.
I mean, for you in Australia, that's the one thing about being here in America is we can live bet with a click of a button, baby.
What?
Live bet.
You don't have to call?
I'm going to have the score bet ready to go, champ. Live and ready to go. We're going to be locked in. We're going to be locked in.
Oh, you guys don't have to call anybody.
No, I have a whole schedule. It's 5:34 my time. I'm going to get done with you. I'm finishing taping John Hedges and Elias Zorro. And when I'm done with that, I'm going to bed. I'll have my alarm set for 3 a.m. I'm waking up at 3 a.m. for some live betting spots, and I'll be in the office by 6 a.m. when all the fights are over.
No, you're missing my point, mate. So when the fight's going on right now, if you want a live bet, you don't have to call to talk to the betting person.
Imagine that.
That's what we have to do. That's why I don't fucking live bet. I'm not calling anybody.
That shit is hell, brother. That sounds like absolute hell,
Bro,
bro.
could you imagine? Like, they're like, what's your security code? I'm like, fuck you. I ain't live bet. I guess I'm just rolling the dice on my fucking original pick. But that's
Nah,
what's crazy.
nah, bro.
um,
That's like this is the biggest thing in my opinion in boxing. The biggest edge in boxing, in my opinion, is the
is
live
live
betting market.
betting. Yeah,
Like
dude.
I can truly say that's like the best market in my personal opinion is live betting by a country mile. I mean, yeah. So it's really what it
Uh,
comes down to. So yeah, I think Olasquaga goes downhill, gets it done later. I think the large ring will benefit Taku early, but I think once he starts rolling downhill, it rolls downhill. Better live betting spot. Again, just a lean. I don't have an official play on that. I also didn't put an official play on Takami as well, just for the fact that I think it's a better live betting spot than anything.
I'm just still blown away that how easy it is for you boys to live bet. It's shocking.
What
It
you
would
can
change.
if
It would
you if
change
you're
my
ever
whole.
watching if you're
It would
ever
change my
watching
whole
a fight,
strategy.
Jay, and you want to
Yeah.
put I mean we could find a way to transfer currency. You can just let me know and I'll put a live bet in for you.
We'll start, dude. We should. I was thinking about it. We should start. I'll think about
You
it
got
like
to
a
find someone you can find someone you can trust that you know is not going to run off with their money. You're like, you know.
yeah, a community poll. But it's like I have no problem live streaming, talking to the boys every single day like this. But when I'm watching a boxing match, no matter what betting app you're on down here, you have to call them. Hello, is this owned? Can I take this at this? Like I ain't trying to do all that. All right, here we go, brother. This is Tsutsumi versus Donaire. You got the mic.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, Donaire is 43 years old. He's 43 years old. In his last fight against Andreas Campos, he didn't have to push any sort of pace and pressure. And you could even say that in the later rounds before the head clash that he started to slow down a little bit. Campos put no body work together, no pace, no pressure. And we're talking about someone in Tszyu. If you go and watch his Takamo Inoue fight, he threw over 1,000 punches and threw more than 700 power punches over 12 rounds. He went to a draw with Daigo Higa twice for a reason. Good recovery, good resiliency. I actually think he's just a slightly more refined and a slightly more technical boxer than Daigo Higa. I actually liken him to a Daigo Higa kind of prototype, to where he gets on the inside, likes to rip up shots, likes to throw overhand weekend shots above those shots. Tries to get underneath your punches and punch you underneath your punches. He can get square at times, but he loves to push your opponents back against the ropes. And I see a lot of people picking Donaire as an underdog. And
Yeah.
I could be wrong for this, but I don't see how.
I don't see it.
I think a fun bet to do is Tsutsumi to get knocked down and to win the fight at plus 600, plus 750, depending on your book. That's a fun ass bet. Tsutsumi could get knocked down early by the Filipino Flash, in my opinion, in the first 1 through 4 rounds. But I promise you guys, and I promise you, this fight will start going downhill. This is what I can promise you. Tsutsumi, if he doesn't get knocked down in the first 4 rounds, he's going to put together a hellacious pace. And I mean hellacious. And I'm skeptical that a 43-year-old Donaire at 118 pounds, regardless of how good he is or once was, who has been cracked before by a Nicholas Walters, if I may remind you, even though it was 10 years ago, and has been fed to the wolves in Japan before by Inoue, super fight series or not, regardless. Guys, this fight will start going downhill. And if you guys see Donaire's back against those ropes, getting tagged up on rounds 2, 3, 4, you go live smash that knockout fight not to go the distance prop right then and there, because this fight will end up going downhill. So those are my overall thoughts on it. Donaire has that counter left that everybody loves to talk about, but how great is his reaction timing? It was okay against Andreas Campos, but again, Andreas Campos did nothing that fight, accepted the back foot, put out no volume, and I didn't even go back and watch his fights from 2023. And one thing, too, that I also like to talk about, Tsutsumi was out with an injury, but he was also probably rehabbing, trying to get back into the gym. Donaire is taking a bunch of different broadcasting gigs, just 1 foot in, 1 foot out kind of deal. And that's dangerous against someone like Tsutsumi, who death by 1,000 punches, but he has pop. All of these things mount to Tsutsumi, Tsutsumi just rolling downhill. So
I think so too. I broke this fight down. Donaire, I thought Donaire was going to retire in 2019. Like this guy, people talk about, the lead hook is legendary, but mate, this guy, that lead hook we're talking about was over a decade ago. Andres Campos, he's a domestic level Argentinian fighter. We covered that fight. That fight ended odd. Donaire's speed, his reflexes, his timing, he's flat-footed, all of that is
I'm sorry.
A
that's
dream of what it used to be. It's Tsutsumi.
His slow feet.
Oh my God, his feet are awful. Tsutsumi though, here's the game plan with Tsutsumi. He needs to just be patient. He needs to not take any unwanted risks in those first 9 to 12 minutes. And like I said, he is going to see Donaire slow slightly. He's gonna pour it fucking on. And I don't see a path to victory for Donaire. And the lead hook, man, Tsutsumi could take a shot too.
His recoverability is great. When he got dropped by Higa and get up and then smokes Daigo Higa, smokes Daigo. And one thing too, his eyes in the pocket when trading are beautiful. Like, his eyes are literally locked in. Like, man, he almost has that like Oshaki Foster crazy wide eye to him when he's standing in the pocket locked in.
Yeah. So I don't see the upset.
This is the one underdog that I would be. You can come back and call me an idiot on my channel. I don't care. This would be the one underdog I'd be shocked if he won.
Same. I don't like it. Donaire's gonna have to be like brilliant with his jab. He's gonna have to be brilliant with his endurance. His timing is gonna have to be on point. Everything that he lost that we saw in 19. Well, this is the same guy in 2019, even though it was on points. I thought he hung him up. It's 2026 in 2 weeks. So, like, we as men,
what the fuck are we talking about here right now?
That's what I'm talking
We're
about.
Talking about Bonito Donaire.
I know,
regular champion or whatever the fuck it is.
What's going on with that bullshit? What, dude? That's another thing we need to talk. The WBA. What is going on with the WBA?
With Vargas, if I'm not mistaken, I believe his mother passed away. I could be wrong. I'm not trying to spread any false information. I believe something happened in his family. But both of these guys are supposed champions.
Full world champions. And Tsutsumi was a recessed champ, full world champ.
Do you guys understand how shitty that would be for boxing if Donaire won tonight?
Yeah, it's a weird thing. Well, where does he go from here? I don't think it happens. Also, watch the weigh-ins.
Chris, do me a favor. If you really think he's going to land the left hook, bet Tsutsumi to be knocked down and win the fight at plus 600.
No, he thinks Donaire's going to land. He thinks Donaire's going to end up.
Tsutsumi to be knocked down and to win the fight.
But to win the fight.
Dude.
Yeah.
That's a fun, sneaky one that I'm putting half a unit on just because I think it's so fun, and it is very possible in the first 4 rounds. But I don't think he puts him out cold. Dude, his shape and conditioning is wicked. One thing we didn't mention about Takami, by the way, too, as well. He's been saying that this is his last fight at 108 for a long time, by the way, guys. So the weight cut could have been bad for him. That's one thing to mention that I haven't seen a lot of people mention. This is his last fight at 108, and then he's moving up weight classes after this.
The thing about Donaire, last fight. If you go to Instagram, go to Donaire's Instagram, you see what he's looked like, his physical shape. He looks soft around the middle. He's 43, dude. Like not every 43-year-old is fighting for world titles. So my hat goes off. We're the same age. I'll be 44 in a few months. So we're the same age. So I know how hard it is to stay in shape year round.
It's not like Rene Santiago where he has the rabbit feet to keep him off, the happy feet to keep him off for this time. His feet looked horrible against Campos.
Yes.
And I could be looking dumb.
I brought that up in my tape. That was one of my talking points in my breakdown was the feet, the flat feet. Your flat foot against Tsutsumi, dude, good luck.
You don't want to be caught in the middle getting tagged up with body shots against Tsutsumi.
Good luck.
1 second. I have this, dude. 1 second. I have this punch stats. Tsutsumi versus Inoue. This is just insane here. Even though I know not a lot wasn't landed, but still, just think about the volume here. He threw 1,068 punches, landed 262 of them. He threw 236 total power punches out. He threw 778 power punches and landed 236 of them. 156 of those power punches being to the body. 156 of those power punches being to the body. Let me repeat that once again, guys.
Yeah. No, that you got to pay. In
Donaire, Inoue is a young gun, and that win is aging like fine wine, brother.
Yeah,
fine wine.
Especially what we saw 2 weeks ago. You know, I definitely, you know, what he did to our boy Kickbox.
Someone in the comments sell me on how Donaire wins this fight. I can be sold on Taku. I can be sold on Chris. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much, man. I can be sold on Taku and I can be sold on Renee. This is the one that, like, I'm planting my flag so hard. Watch Donaire come out and Donaire come out and just make me look ridiculous, smoking with the left.
It happens.
What's up, my brother?
It happens. You got to stand on business, though. Breaking Bad standing on business out here.
Always.
We're about 45 minutes in. Is there anything other fight? Did we miss one? There's so many fights this weekend too.
I'm going to be taping Shamika Johnson fight and the Bumgardner fight.
Yeah. I think the Bumgardner fight's going to be closer than people think, boys. People are just writing off Bonet.
One thing that's to note about it too as well, it's 12 threes, 3 12s.
Yep.
3 12s, 12 threes. Bada bing, bada booms, keys.
Which, I mean, both of them have one loss. I don't like the way Bumgardner looked in her last fight. She didn't blow me away. You said Hedges versus Zorro. People have been asking me about the Hedges versus Zorro fight.
I haven't finished my tape yet. And I don't want to. Subi leaves himself very wide open to the right hand, left hook against Higa, and those punches are Donaire's best punches. Yeah, while I understand that, they're completely different fighters. You have Donaire that's going to stop and wait and plant for the counter as compared to Higa. He's trading. They're sitting there and trading in the pocket. Donaire's not going to be standing there winging shots with Tsutsumi. It's a different type of style of fight you have to take into consideration. Yes, he leaves himself open, but these are things that a young fighter, a 29-year-old fighter, can go to the gym and build up fight over fight and get better at and learn over. Donaire is a finished product. His ceiling is done. And you're telling me Tsutsumi doesn't understand that he doesn't have to watch for that left hook and that right hand.
Yeah, circle away. I mean, this is day one textbook when you're teaching orthodox fighters how to avoid power sides and lead sides from an opponent. You know, he knows what Donaire's strengths are. We'll see. I'm on that same hill with my flag dug into the dirt. I don't see Donaire doing it in this fight. I think Tsutsumi is going to be better than him in a lot of these spots. I think he's going to, you know, we might not, this probably will be Donaire's last fight.
Yeah.
What does he do if he loses?
I'm just putting it, I would just be surprised if Donaire didn't get finished this fight. Just being completely honest. Like, it would be like, I guess the old man, one last hurrah, or maybe Tsutsumi carries him because he's a legend and he's a kind young man, but
I don't see a Japanese fighter doing that though.
I don't either. They're too gang, bro. They're warriors, brother.
They're dude, warriors. For sure.
I haven't finished my Hedges tape, so I don't really want to give out a pick on that yet, just because I haven't finished it. And you know I'm always suspect about giving out anything without having. Pull up that odd fluctuation though, real quick. Zoom out real quick for me. That's cool that your app has that.
Yeah. So we're gonna add this feature to our live stream, by the way. The Boxing News Today live stream. The Boxing News Now.
Boxing News Now.
Because we have the live odds, but we're gonna add the fluctuation is important to see. It's it's good to see the stats to see where the money's coming in. If they're look at the trends.
Yeah, man. I mean, well, I watched when I went to place a bet. I watched a bet change right in front of me before I could click it, and it said accept odds at a worse odds. So I jumped books and went to a different book to find better odds. Yeah, I mean, Tsutsumi is, yeah, man.
This is my prop of the week, by the way. Look at Julius giving away free game. I gave this away in the Discord. I think Simpson at $1.85 to stop Troy Williamson is my prop of the week. That's probably the bet I love the most the entire weekend is Williamson to get stopped, which sounds kind of crazy. But
I think if you want to make the chalk square parlay of the week, the Johnny plus Breaking Bad boxing chalk square parlay of the week, you do Simpson by stoppage and you do Olasquaga by stoppage.
Nice. Let's see what
that should give you like a plus 150-ish odds, something like that. Yeah. I mean, I think that's I think Olasquaga gets Taku out of there. I think it can happen early. I think it happens late, you know.
$1.50 and $1.85. I mean, plus 175 is great value here, boys.
That's actually I'm actually surprised. I thought it'd give you like plus 150, but
yeah, no. Plus, there we go. Boom. Yeah, plus 175. It's good value. Hunter gets your money back plus 175. Eaton. I think Callum Simpson is overrated. Troy Small Pass is best. Yeah. Look, we break down so many fights. It's not like we're picking guys to be Hall of Famers.
Dude, it
We're
was
picking
funny.
reads. We're reading out here. We're reading. We're writing. We're doing arithmetic.
I used shout out the boy Lorgol, who's also in your chat. I used AI today to take a picture of my handwritten notes and to transfer them into notes on my phone. First time I've ever done it. And I was going through my tape notes, which is funny. Since I've been doing Breaking Bad boxing, I have 4 textbooks, all filled notes front to back. It just kind of I'm reading some notes of fighters. You already know. See, you understand. Yeah. I'm reading notes of fighters that I had no clue I've even taped. Has that ever happened where you're like, oh, you're like reading notes. You're like, dude, what? Like, I'm talking about fighters that I hate. This is going to sound crazy. They're like a flash in a pan for you. And then you go back and look, you're like, dude, I taped this fight, or I bet this fight, or I've given out a pick for this fight. This kind of blows me away when stuff like that happens, because when you actually are consistently taping, legitimately just on a rotation of tape, it blows you away like how much you really know some of these fighters that you think you don't know. And you're like, oh my God, I know him for this reason or such and such. So
this is one of my old tape books. This is one of the UFC card. Chidi Nugovachani versus Marc-Andre Barrio. Jason Witt versus Phil Rowe.
The power bar, brother.
I'm doing tape.
Jason Witt. Honestly, Jason Witt is summed up in one word. Chinny.
Yeah, that's about it. Dude, I'm doing UFC Fight Night Gamrot versus Sarukian. Like, I go all the way back to fucking.
I cashed on Gamrot for that fight, even though that was a close decision.
Yeah.
That was Pete Gamrot. Crazy high pressure Gamrot.
Bro, when Gamrot broke through, man, Gamrot was out. That was that fight, actually. That was Gamrot Pete Gamrot.
Gamrot was a KSW, I believe.
Yeah.
I believe a KSW 154 champion. Yeah, DJ, you understand, bro. You're reading over your notes. You're like, damn, I taped this person. Like,
it's insane.
Like,
it's always, what's cool though is what's gonna happen is
with I do find it with MMA, it's easier to go based off what you remember and do a quick tape study on MMA than it is boxing.
Yeah, boxing's like statistics.
Like boxing, you have to slow down tape sometimes, and
yeah. Of course.
Like, dude, when I saw Taku, he had a crazy good body shot knockout over Tohazi. I had to rewind it and slow it down to even see the body shot. Like, it was a beautiful knockout. And Tohazi is someone, by the way, that Takami took 8 rounds. You know, Taku also beat Magramo, too, as well. So, Taku ain't no pushover for Alasquaga, guys. Just want to say that. He made issues early.
See, this is the dark side of doing too much tape, though. Is when
analysis.
When you start realizing, yeah, dude,
bro,
this happens, mate. An upside though is when you've done so much tape and you're doing this for another year or 2 or 3 years, and you'll look back and be like, oh shit, I taped this dude's debut, and now he's 12-0. Like fucking hell. Like I remember doing Josh.
I'm so excited for Xander Zayas's, because my first ever breakdown I ever did was Xander Zayas. I'm so excited for Xander Zayas' next fight, just because it's gonna feel almost like a.
Have you seen him in camp?
Moment.
Have you seen, dude? He's fucking massive. I cannot believe Zayas makes 54. He is huge. He's not going to be there that much longer either.
His team has been talking about that for a while, but what's he going to go do? I mean, I guess a super fight between him and Janibek sounds awesome.
Or just become a 2-division world champion at 60. We'll definitely see him at 68 before it's all said and done. But like, the kid is massive. He carries a lot of muscle too.
168 out of nowhere kind of became a shark pool.
Yeah, dude.
Like out of nowhere, like when you look at it from top to bottom, it's kind of a shark pool. You have Iglesias, who's the most underrated 168er on planet Earth that no one talks about, quite frankly. You have Mabili, who I don't care what anyone says, always going to be in a good fight. Lester Martinez, who can hang with anybody at the world level.
Nobody's putting their hand up. No one's trying to fight Lester, especially after
Pacheco had a lackluster performance, but he's still a good B-side fighter at 168, and I'm still not willing to give up on him at such a young age.
I do not think that was that bad of a goddamn performance. You're fighting you're fighting an animal with that freaking style. You know, and the announcers were so one-sided. It wasn't Pacheco holding the entire goddamn time. And also, I'm glad you brought Diego up. What do you see? Him and Shiraz are supposed to be rumored to be fighting at 68. That's
Shiraz a fight Shiraz is another person I actually didn't bring up. I made a joke. I said sacrifice William Skull to either Iglesias or Pacheco.
but I mean, like,
I think stylistically, man, like,
because the fight's going to look way different. Pacheco versus Tszyu is a one-off because of the stylistic matchup. Pacheco versus Shiraz fights totally differently. That's going to that's very interesting.
Shiraz fights at range, does some decent work from the inside.
That's what I'm saying.
Long piston jab. Straights are a key thing for him. It'll be the battle of the straight punches, quite frankly. But the thing is, Shiraz, we've seen fire off a little bit more on the Berlanga fight. Against Carlos Adames, he wasn't firing off. He was lining up shots, but not firing them off, right?
He looked average against Adames.
Dude, well, I think also Adames had a good game plan. Got underneath his shots.
A beast.
Got underneath his shots, tapped on the body early, worked up top. He should have won that fight. He won that fight, in my opinion, pretty clear.
Horrible decision. Yeah,
clear
at least they didn't take the belt from him. You know, I'll take a screw job draw than a goddamn robbery, losing the belt sort of thing. But,
I think Shiraz would probably win the fight. I think if I'm Diego Pacheco, I'm trying to get a Jaime Munguia fight, a winnable fight in that sense. I'm staying all the way there.
That's a fun fight.
It's a good fight. I'm staying all the way from Resendez, and I'm staying all the way from Mabili, and I'm staying all the way from Lester Martinez. If I'm Pacheco's team, you stay away from those three fighters because
I don't know, man.
Dude, Mabili would fuck up Pacheco.
I'm talking about Resendez. I'm not that sold on Resendez at this moment. He looked good against Caleb, but where's he been? I want to see them urine test too because Resendez.
I'm sorry.
I was calling that shit.
He's been cycling.
I want to see that piss test,
bro.
Resendez looked like a goddamn fitness bodybuilder at the weigh. I was like, who the fuck is he? Never looked like that before. And then he goes out and has the performance of his lifetime.
Sorry for yelling, everybody.
Where's he been at?
Sorry for getting so excited because you literally stole the words out of my. I literally was like, he's been cycling, brother. Like, come on, we know where he's been. We know where he's been. My issue is with Diego Pacheco is I think he's going to have issues with fighters that don't crowd the space and know how to work the body on the inside. Mike Ross said Breaking Bad has that professional radio voice. I appreciate that, bro. That's hilarious. I actually had a teacher, OG, Mr. Jones, played basketball at Boise State. Dude was the dopest. He told me since my sophomore year I need to get into radio. He used to tell me from the jump street because I used to walk into his class and just start spatting off college football analytics to him. I've always been an analyst nerd.
You got to listen to the old timers when they give you advice, big dog. Timu Mabili had Diego in trouble. The real Mabili, look,
bad things to Diego, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, he had him in trouble,
and he would have stopped him. Mabili would have stopped him.
And Mabili, dude, the one thing about Kevin Lee is he fights similar to Mabili, right? But the volume's not the same, and the punch selection is nowhere near the same. Diego will at least plant his base, rip off shots on the inside that have meaningful punches as compared to Tszyu, or coming over, throwing weakening shots that he's hoping to catch over top, which do land at moments. Completely different in my personal opinion. So I think Resendez, especially we saw the Resendez we saw against Plant that knows how to get on the inside and work and beat up that body and throw high volume, all the signs of juice, right? I think Resendez, Mabili, and Lester Martinez are all horrible matchups for Pacheco. I think they all beat him up on the inside, beat him up bad, drop him to the body minimum, and maybe even finish him. Some of those guys, like Lester Martinez, I'm confident would finish Diego Pacheco. Like, I was kind of bummed out that Mabili's camp. I understand why they didn't, but I was kind of bummed out that Mabili's camp didn't want to get that get back against Lester. Even though, it's a tale of two fights. Lester's game plan was on point. You could see the path to victory in the rematch for Lester. Just turn the fucking gas up early and fight him in that range early. And but that fight's not going to happen. So I've pulled up the fighters at 168, at least what Boxing Scene has them ranked. And I just want to pull those up to see if we forgot anyone. No one's talking about Melikuziev. After Bektemir beat Fulgham, no one's saying Bektemir Melikuziev's name. No one's putting their hand up to fight Lester. Who are we? Is McKenna? Aaron McKenna's a six. Beck the Bully's a fun fight for someone. Eventually Charlo's going to come out of the woodworks and fight some random ass fighter. It'll probably be Caleb Plant.
That'll sell at least.
That'll
I've never been sold on Caleb. I've never been a guy to sit here and say Caleb's.
And then you also have the winner of the Callum Simpson
People
fight.
love Caleb. People love Caleb. Caleb's offense is
Callum Simpson fight coming up as well.
Yeah.
So that's another winner that no one's talking about. Pavel's actually Pavel is Silyagin is pretty
Pavel
good.
Silyagin, he's good. There's a couple names on here. It's like the harder the name is to pronounce, the less people are going to hear about him, I think, especially in the English speaking world. But what's Caleb going to do? The 168 division
said, I want to see Beck the Bully versus Berlanga. Beck the Bully would do disgusting things over the 12-round distance to pop shot, stop and start Berlanga, which Berlanga has great stop and start, but he would do disgusting things to him. I think Berlanga's, I'm sorry, man. Berlanga's, I've never been impressed by Edgar Berlanga. I've never been impressed by Edgar Berlanga. There's never once a time I threw on the tape and was like, man, I know he was the 17-0 guy. 17 knockouts in the first round. I've heard it, Johnny. I remember.
That's not what I'm saying. I wasn't gonna lean on that. I was gonna lean on. I remember watching Ed in the amateurs when he was like fighting it like 147 pounds. So what I was gonna say is I'd like to see Ed at one. Like, this is gonna sound crazy. I'd like to see him at 160. We're never going to see that because he doesn't have the discipline to get to 160. But when you see him at 68, you can tell he's carrying extra body mass that really switch.
Versus Berlanga would be an awesome fight.
But you know what I'm saying? I want to see Berlanga with his fucking like superhero physique. I don't think we'll ever see it because he got that money now. But the
pop he would have at 160 would be absolutely insane,
bro. This is when you look at a guy. Think about like.
Can you highlight Mike Ross's latest comment for me? When are we going to stop caring about this in pro boxing? At what point are we going to stop giving a hell? And Mike, you know I love you, brother. You know I don't mean this with disrespect.
Mike's the big homie.
Mike knows I'm just a passionate. I think Mike at this point has heard me plenty enough that he knows I'm a passionate ass dude. When are we going to stop giving a shit about amateur careers? At this point,
it's a talking point. It's a talking
point. If Maxie Hughes trainer didn't have a heart attack, hope he's doing well. Prayers up. And Maxie Hughes had one more round of gas. That was a draw fight, or he was beating Usmanov. Still pissed about that. Still pissed about that. But how many of these amateurs have we seen? Jazza beat old boy. Christopher Rios had that dub on old boy. Soufain, that French storied amateur. I forgot who he fought, but he got beat up on.
Galoyafai.
I mean, there is a asterisk to that one.
Frankie Rod was on the gear. We get it.
Crazy gear.
Kona Walker versus Pat McCormick.
That goes back to my first point. His team failed him. That's how
they knew about it, bro. But they knew it. Did you know go to box? I'll go pull a box rec. Frankie Rod's fight right before that, 6 weeks earlier, was in Texas.
Pat McCormick, too. Thank you, DJ.
Yeah, McCormick versus Kona.
We smacked on that McCormick on Kona live. Plus 650 plus.
I ain't trying to hear these live bets. We don't have those options.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm telling you. Once I saw Kona win round 1, I said, oh my God. I literally said, Kona, the engine who needs to win later rounds, is winning early rounds. Come on.
Yeah, it was what Kiza said here. My boy Pat got punched out the ring the other week. He the best UK amateur for about a decade. Yeah, Badr Gaziev was a very highly touted amateur. Jabba Jazza getting elevated to full world champion. Shout out to the Unks.
Yeah, and
Unks, baby.
Dude has
we
a hell of a tough fight against his own Tsutsumi.
He got paired up against Tsutsumi. How about the Sugar Nunez versus Navarrete upcoming fight? That's the one where I'm like,
I know you saw. I got my tickets to that. I'll be there live, baby. We are locked.
Damn, bro, you're
stoked.
See, dude. I literally
could, with this janky style, those long winging hooks, those casino hooks and shots. And then you're going to have Sugar Nunez, Mexican War, volume. Oh, my God, brother. I'm like, woo.
Yeah, I can't wait for that fight. Shout out to the boys for taking it. But, damn, is that in Arizona?
Yep. It's in Glendale, Arizona. It's at Desert Diamond Casino where the Coyotes used to play. So it's a real nice, intimate arena.
I was there once when the Buckeyes played in the Rose Bowl, I think in 2001. They played in the Fiesta Bowl in Glendale against it was years ago. But that's the only time I ever spent. And then I think I ate mushroom once in Flagstaff.
That's hilarious. It's funny is I saw the Buckeyes. I saw Ohio State versus Clemson on Adderall, which is so hilarious.
So, I wrote my first book using Adderall, boy.
Man, I don't do any stimulants now besides a little bit of marijuana and coffee, but
not Adderall. Man. But have you heard of a modafinil?
Nah, what is this?
Breaking Bad
Boxing, you got to learn some chemistry. Let's do it.
Yeah, so Adderall is obviously a stimulant, but it's an amphetamine. Modafinil is a nootropic, so the brain reacts like it's an amphetamine. It just doesn't affect the heart rate, so you don't get increased heart rate, but you get that focus. And like a lot of like airline, they actually made it. It was invented for people with narcolepsy. So if you don't have narcolepsy, it works the opposite and you stay switched on. So I didn't use Adderall in my first published book. I was taking modafinil. I was interviewing once on my podcast a biohacker, and he emailed me. Well, he mailed me a bunch of them. But yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think it's funny because when I was looking through my notes, the first notebook I ever did notes on was in a chemistry notebook.
Yeah.
So I just find this so funny that I'm looking at it and I'm like, damn, is that where the name just kind of subsequently came up? Was Breaking Bad Boxing was a chemistry notebook? I'm like, hey, that sounds kind of catchy, honestly. I was always worried that would never catch on because of the show itself. You search Breaking Bad Boxing, figured that it would only be Saul Goodman, you know?
Pop an Addy and do some tape study.
That's me now on a Sunday morning now. Pull up my laptop, got a bong and got a little coffee. And I'm like, you know what? It's a beautiful morning. Let's pop some tape study.
Yeah, dude. When I was here, how old are you? 30?
29. So yeah.
I was gonna pull the when I was your age, but I was way younger. When I moved to Long Beach, I was 22, and I think I told the story once on my. I would stand. This was 2004. I would stand up paddleboard. I lived on the canals in between Long Beach and Seal Beach. I would stand up paddleboard to my weed doctor. And so like it was right across the canal.
That's back when you used to have the long hair, huh?
Oh, rocking the long hair, everything was pierced, but I wasn't breaking. I was just watching film, bro. See, I'm like Chrissy. I was like, I'm gonna grow the long hair back. She's like, I don't like it. She's like, it smells.
Dude, hair is growing like a mug.
It looks good, boy. You got them locks.
Man, it's funny. My hair used to be thick and curly, and now it's like flat. I don't know what happened.
Well, it's gravity. It's because it's long. So Nick, I got to wrap it up, man. So I'm going to the fights tonight. I'm going to the zoo fight. It starts.
I hope you have a great time, Big Steve. Big Steve. Yeah. I hope your life is hell lately, Big Steve. I don't like you, Big Steve. I don't know why, but I don't. I'm just kidding.
Isn't that your boy?
That is my boy. Yeah, that's why I'm just giving him some shit. He's a shit talker, as you know himself. So.
Big Steve's the shit. Johnny, give the people some undercover props on Sydney. Yeah, we covered it, guys. If you're just tapping in, we're over an hour in. Go to the first 10 minutes of this live. We talked about the Australian card. But Big Steve, I'm going to give you my Australian parlay in the Discord in about 30 minutes after I finish folding some laundry.
Hey, well, I appreciate you having me on, Johnny, man. It was nice to do a little collab. It's been a while since we chopped it up on here, man. So
yeah, brother.
Appreciate you, bro.
So we have a UFC card in what, 3? We don't have one until the end of January.
We don't have one for like 6 weeks. It's insane.
Yeah. So let's behind the scenes. Let's talk a little bit more about making that like a regular sort of stream, because we did one 2 weeks ago on the Thursday. With the UFC pay-per-view 2 weeks ago. I want to do more of those with you.
Bet. Let's do it.
All right, boys. Nick, you be good. Good luck to everybody with the bets tonight. I'll stay on for a few minutes.
Salute. Take care.
Yes, sir. All right, boys. Appreciate everybody tuning in. We're an hour and 8 in, and we still have 50 people on the live. I talk about this all the time. Best boxing community. I'm so glad you boys talked me into doing live streams about 6-7 months ago. I'm so glad you boys talked me into starting the Discord. My favorite thing about what I do online is the Discord. We have about 325 Johnny Says Boxing insiders in there, full savages. I'm just the purveyor of messaging. We got guys who know their shit in and out. Nick's one of them. And that's the best thing about our community. We don't always have to agree on everything, but we know